Another reason I left religion, the church, Christianity, and fundamentalism is that the church supports erasing racism and hate crimes. So you might be saying, not all churches support racism, racist legislation, or erasing the negativities of racism and hate crimes. And you would be correct. Not all churches and religions, or even denominations in Christianity, support things that are racist. Some of the liberal, non-hierarchy, independent churches are moving more toward inclusion and away from racism and the Southern historical traditions of white supremacy. But unfortunately, I didn't grow up in the liberal, independent churches. I grew up in Baptist, Southern Baptist, fundamentalism, Christianity, Calvinism, and they're extremely consistently white supremacist. I would say, based on the churches in 4 denominations and 7 churches I went to, I did not see more than 5 Black, Hispanic, or anything non-white in 25 years. I don't remember a single non-white leader, and I don't remember any teachers that weren't of some white variation. Why does the church say that they're inclusive, they're not where they say they're anti-racist, anti-hate, but then they use their tax dollars, their donations, their clout to support racist legislation? A few examples of racial segregation or just discrimination is churches supporting abortion bans, or just complete bans. The problem is statistics show that the groups of people most affected by abortion bans are people of color or minorities. The people with the highest odds of dying in childbirth during an abortion or an issue regarding an approved or non-approved abortion is that people who are not white are most likely to die, suffer, or have irreversible harm done because doctors are afraid to operate. Not only abortion, but all rights. When the churches I grew up in did not support the LGBTQ plus population, they did not support women being independent, autonomous creatures. Secondary education was great as long as it could bring something into the church, like theology, finance, something that would benefit the church and get the gospel out. If you grew up in like Mormons or Jehovah's Witness, you'll notice that a lot of those don't like secondary education. And all the churches I grew up in were very white supremacist, very racist. They did not support abortion, equal rights for women. They did not support any type of LGBTQ plus inclusion. Basically, they ignored it, erased it, legislated against it, and squelched every type of growth when it came to anything that wasn't white or heterosexual privilege. The racism in church for activities, decoration, and historical significance were extremely racist. I talked about this in other episodes where white people would wear traditional minority dress, or when they would actually show minorities, it was them wearing traditional dress, not everyday clothing. How do they erase racism? Well, in Southern Baptist and Calvinism, they erase it by never talking about it. Condemning racism is great, but when you do everything you can to pass legislation and teach the next generation that slavery wasn't a bad thing, or that certain groups in the Bible were cursed by God and their ancestors later became slaves,